So welcome to Sorare Wakey Academy, and it's time for our second series of players you should buy to make you a profit. This time we're looking at the under-23 champion players, and we're going to be starting with one goalkeeper, 4 defenders, 3 midfielders, 3 forwards, and then we'll have a look at some substitutes as well that you can throw in each of them positions. Now some might be expensive, some might be cheap. All of these will make you a profit. And we're going to be starting off with our defenders, so let's take a look at that. So the first centre-back we're going to look at then is William Saliba of Marseille out in France. 21-year-old, he's a big 6'4", right-footed centre-back. He's got good control. He sort of glides through the game, a bit like Thiago does and Pogba does. It reminds me a little bit of Rio Ferdinand. If you ever watch him play, he's got the same sort of characteristics as him. He wins a lot of headers. He's a very calm player. Also reads the game well, a little bit like Virgil van Dijk. He doesn't sort of dive in, he'll sort of read the game, hold off tackling the player whilst he reads the game before he then makes his decision what to do. So decision making is fantastic. He's started his career at Saint Etienne, moved to Arsenal at a young age, didn't play any games for the first team there, moved back to Saint Etienne on loan, then went to Nice on loan, and then is now at Marseille on loan. He's played 34 games this season, just 1 goal, no assists. Not really expected to get that. He does go up for corners, but that's about it. Doesn't really get into the box that much. Doesn't actually go over the halfway line that often, to be honest. He's always that last defender that stays back. He has got 12 clean sheets this season from 34 games, and he's got 4 yellow cards. Now, when he was younger, he was actually trained by Kylian Mbappe's dad. Now, let's have a look at his price then. You'll see it up there, 245 that's his floor price and his average as well. So £245. I think that's quite cheap. When you consider here, at his peak during the season, he was hitting £656. So now, as it says down here, the last sale was 242. So I think you can make a lot of money on this guy, but it depends where he goes. When his price has gone down, because it's coming to the end of the season for one, but we don't know if he's going back to Arsenal, his home club. We don't know if he's staying at Marseille and extending his loan, or whether they're going to snap him up, or whether he goes elsewhere. Is he going to be sat on the bench, or is he going to be playing in them games? Really consistent, this lad. You'll see here his last 5, 61, 58 last 15, 61 for his last 40, playing in nearly every single game. And his scores here, you'll see, he's sort of hitting between 50s and 70s on his average, but he does get as high as the 80s and even the 90 there. Not too often down at the bottom in the 30s, although he has had a few just recently. But overall, I mean, this lad hits good scores. He's never hit 100 yet, which I think is his next target. So once he does that, his price is going to start going up and up and up. So that's my first player, my centre-back, William Saliba of Marseille. So next player we're going to look at then is Pierre Calulu. Now, he's our next centre-back, so he will partner Saliba. And he's from AC Milan, he's 21 years old, 5'10", so quite small for like a centre-back, but his natural position, I think, is at right-back. And he has played there a few times then. As I said, he's right-footed. He's really good with the ground duels, and that's ground duels, not crown jewels. His tackling's good. He's got great speed, but I think he needs to get a bit more composure as well, because although he's got great speed, he's running around 100 miles per hour like a headless chicken sometimes. He is a good crosser of the ball as well. Now, so far for Milan, bearing in mind he's supposed to be a substitute this season, just breaking through, he's had 25 games and 2 assists with 1 goal and 4 yellows. Now, they actually got Calulu from Lyon. He played in Lyon's B team and moved to Milan. And as I say, he's just started to break through. It's his breakthrough season as such. Although he has played internationally for France, from the under-18s all the way up to the current level, which is what he's under-21s. And he's also played in the Olympics just gone in 2021 as well. He was at the Olympics for France. Now, Kalulu's got to fight for his place because he's not like the number 1 at the back at the moment. Looking at his recent form, he's done really well. You can see his last 5 games of 69, his last 15 of 61, and his last 40 with 50 scored. Overall, looking at his scores, I mean, there's a lot of DNPs here when he was just breaking through, as I said, when he got here. Not expected to start any of these games, but when he did, he was getting high scores. Then he was on the bench for quite a while before the Romagnoli injury, and he got into the team with Tomori at the back, playing at centre-back. Just recently, he started quite a lot of the games, and he's been putting in good performances, you can see here, from 50s all the way up to 100 even there. So really good performances. looking at this, he started a lot of these games going back here, even a clearance off the line there. But he's been starting quite a lot of the games, but Romagnoli comes back soon, but he's not renewing his contract at the end of this season, so that's him gone. However, Sven Botman is coming in to replace Romagnoli, so I can see him being the #1 spot instead of Calulu. At right back is a place I think he should be playing, but they've got Calabria there, who's also only young and he's a club captain, so he's going to try and knock out Calabria from that team. But he could play anywhere along that back there, even at left back he's played before. But I think he's going to push them all season to try and get that place. And once he breaks into that team and again becomes the mainstay in defence, I think his price is going to go up. And he is on an upward spiral. You see, when he first joined the platform here, he was looking at around the £62 mark. He became well known, got into the team a little bit, and the potential this lad's got at the moment is climbing and climbing, as is his price. And you'll see now the latest one was £187, so he's not cheap, but he's not expensive yet, because I think, again, he could be like a £400 player quite easily once the season starts and he becomes either a right back or a centre back. So I think Calulu is going to be quite a good star for next season, and I think you're definitely going to make money on this lad. He's signing a new contract to stay at Milan as well, so he wants to fight for his place in that team. But that's our second centre back then, Pierre Calulu from Milan. So the next player we're going to look at then is Joseph Skelly of Borussia Mönchengladbach. Now this guy is 19 years old. He's got under 23 utility until 2027. You'll see his position there. They've got him as right midfielder as his main position, but I don't think he is. I mean, when I've ever watched this guy, he's always played at left back or right back, or wing back even. Wing back's probably the best description for him. I prefers to use his right foot. He's double footed. But I've seen him at right back and at left back. Normally plays right back when Luca Netz comes in at left back. Now this guy works hard. I think he's got a good stamina. And he's also up and down the wing all the time. He's got a good recovery, so his speed's quite good. If he loses the ball, he tries to win it back at least. But a few times he's been caught out of position, which is one of his downfalls, I'm guessing. Now so far, he's played 28 games with 1 goal and 2 assists. He started 20 of them games. He's also got 4 yellow cards. Now he's playing about 68 minutes per game for the season so far. So he has been sort of in and out of the team, but he has been a mainstay in the squad. He first got into Borussia Mönchengladbach's team because of all the injuries, and they sort of chucked him forward when he was a young lad, and he sort of took his chance basically. But he's been talked about everywhere, Joseph Skelly. He started his career at New York City before moving to Gladbach, and he's played national level at the under-15s and under-17s so far for the US team. So let's have a look at his scores, and this is where I think you're going to make this money, because his scores at the moment for his last 5 of 29. Sounds awful, doesn't it? 80% of the games, 31 for his last 15 and 37 for his last 40. But he's a young lad, like I say. He's sort of gone off the boil at the moment, but I think he's going to come back quite strong for this side. They were off form for so long, the whole team. They've just recently picked that form back up again and start to score a few wins. So I think he's going to get back in this team. Once the confidence is in the team, I think he will also get his confidence back as well. I bought him again when he first came out, when limited cards came out, and I bought him for like £70 near enough. I bought him for about £53, sold him for £70. Then I bought him again down here when I couldn't believe his price was down here. At £29 I bought him then. But it's gone down even more, and it's now on what, £19 I think it is? Yeah, £19 to £20 now. For Skelly, who's in that squad all the time for Borussia Mönchengladbach, nationally playing as well at his under-19s level. I think, without a shadow of a doubt, you'll make money on this lad. And he was also quoted by their director of football that he's the best player that Borussia Mönchengladbach have. So I don't think he's quite there yet, but I think he could have quite a bright future with them. So I'm going to play him as our left back in the team. He could play right back as well, but I'm going to play him as our left back. So that's our next player, Joseph Skelly, Borussia Mönchengladbach. So the last player we come to in our defence then is our right back option, and that's with Malo Gusto. Now he plays for Lyon at right back. He's only 18 years old, and he's got the utility at under 23 until 2027. It's sort of his breakthrough season, as he's had to replace Leo Dubois at right back for Lyon. Now to displace him, who's the captain of the team as well. I mean, when he got injured, Gusto stepped up into that place, and I don't think he's really looked back since. A couple of times he's been dropped again, but he's really taken his chances, I think, this year. This lad's really agile, he's offensive, he's quick. When he was at the academy at Lyon, he was playing on the right wing, which is where he gets all his attacking prowess from. This season so far, he's played 27 games with 4 assists, no goals and 3 yellows. But out of that time, he's had he was substituted into the game 9 times and subbed out 5 times. So half of it he hasn't really played in. Now, he's been at Lyon all his career, or all his senior career, I should be saying. And national level, he's played at France under 16s up to under 21 level, even captaining the French team at the under 19s. So let's have a look at this lad's scores in so far. The last 5 games he's been hitting 60, playing in all the games, 100% of them. He's got a last 15 score of 50 and a last 40 score of 43. He is down as a starter, but we'll have a look at his scores then. That's his overall scores. As I said, substitute quite a lot down with all the DNPs. But then when he took his chance, he was hitting 60s to 70s. And then substituted again when Dubois came back. But then again, took his chance once more. And now he's been hitting as high as the 80s up here. And he's a real talent for the future, this lad. He started down here, and I got him quite early on this lad. And I paid, I think it was £32 for him. Managed to sell him for 65, but then I bought him again. He was still playing so well, so I had to get back on him again, and I bought him for £93. So his price had gone up a hell of a lot then. I sold him in a trade deal, so I don't have one at the moment, but I do need to get hold of another one. At the moment his price is 161. Sounds expensive, but it's not for a guy who's under 23 utility till 2027, and he's in the team now, keeping the captain out of the right back position. Real big player, this one. I think he'll get around the national squad. You know, if he stays where he is at the moment, he's playing quite well and keeps that up. I can see him sort of getting into the national squad as a substitute or even a reserve maybe. But his contract at the moment, he's contracted here till 2024 with Lyon. But we're also now having Juventus having a look at him. We're also getting Barcelona having a look at them because they need a right back. So he's been looked at, he's been scouted around Europe at the moment. But I think you're going to make a lot of money on this guy as our right back option, Malo Gusto from Lyon. So here we have our defence in full for our under-23 Euro Championship side. And we are going with our left back, Joseph Skelly from Borussia Mönchengladbach. We've got Pierre Calulu playing the left of centre back from AC Milan. We've got William Saliba playing right of centre back from Marseille. And we've got Malo Gusto playing at right back from Lyon. Pretty attacking lineup that, apart from Saliba who stays back quite a bit. But and Calulu out of position slightly as he would play at right centre back or right back. But that's our 4 defenders. We've got a lot of pace in that side, good in the air as well. Pretty attacking team. That's our first 4 in defence for this side. So join us on our next video then when we'll be looking at the midfield team that we'll put together with this lot. It's a decent team, some decent shouts in there as well, so please come back and have a look at the next one.